So just as an FYI, we're going to be recording this meeting in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. By remaining on the call, you consent to being recorded for those purposes. And with that, I will kick it back over to Nadja.
Hi guys, welcome to the July meeting of the Environmental and Natural Resources GICA Subcommittee. I'm going to call this meeting to order at 11 o'clock. And I guess we can go through with roll call. My name is Nadja Shahab. I am MDA's Climate and Community Resilience Administrator.
Harrison Palmer, Executive Secretary of Boards and Commissions for MDA.
Emily Wilson, Maryland Department of Natural Resources.
Steve Conley, Deputy Secretary, Maryland Department of Agriculture.
Deborah.
Good morning. Deborah Cornwell with Maryland Department of Planning.
Jessica.
Hi, Jessica Richards. I am a member at large here, but I also work for Tri-County Council of Southern Maryland.
Joanne.
Joanne Chasen, First Vice President, Maryland Farm Bureau.
Holly.
Good morning. Holly Porter, Executive Director of the Delmarva Chicken Association.
And Steve.
Good morning. Steve McHenry, Executive Director, Marbidco.
Hi, Dina. We were just doing roll call.
Hi, yes, Eugenia, Department of Human Services. I'm the Assistant Director for Sunbucks and SNAP-Ed.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask for the approval of the May 2025 minutes. Has everyone reviewed those minutes?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Yeah. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. I think we're going to run through this.
Yeah, I think just with low governmental attendance, there's an opportunity for some discussion internally.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Emily with DNR, so we can cover a couple of those different topics in brief, but looking at our MDE and commerce conversations, I think there's a need to work through this.
Yeah, so we'll just run through the agenda really quick. So DNR's asked that we hold any updates about Sunday hunting until the next meeting. They're in the meeting currently right now about that. We're going to skip over the CAFO, the giant miscanthus, and then I guess the next question would be, we're hoping for leasing agreements.
Yeah, and I can briefly touch on Sunday hunting. I mean, is the subcommittee aware that there was a letter that the department received, asking us to look into this issue over the interim, because there's different Sundays, different hours, different weapons. It's just, and different safety zones. It's all over the place, and it's all in statute. However, the department has the authority, the broad authority statutorily, to implement regulations for wildlife management. And that certainly would be a preferred method, because it's an elastic issue, right? You have to be able to respond a little bit more flexibly rather than in statute to ecological and environmental conditions. So there's been one meeting of a pretty big diverse group of stakeholders that was held up at Quinburg Wildlife Management Area in Baltimore County back in June, I believe. And ironically, they are meeting as we speak for their second meeting. I believe that's being held at Sandy Point today. So they are getting, good ideas and so forth, and having good discussions on maybe how to address this. I think the legislature is sort of tired of being the arbiter of the very.
Is this the delegate voice?
Yes. Yeah. And I think Cassie Shirk is sitting on this for MDA. So understandably, they're getting tired of being the arbiter of the different viewpoints on Sunday hunting. So that's where things stand with that. In terms of leasing, and more specifically as it relates perhaps to the Bay Legacy Act that was just passed, I do know that we are looking actively for, smaller parcels, maybe 5 to 10 acres of DNR properties across the state that might be appropriate for regenerative agriculture types of leases. So that's a process that's ongoing at this moment. I don't have a whole lot more to offer on that until I guess we identify some decent properties, and then I guess it would be a way to seek out folks who would be interested in doing those kinds of leases.
Thank you. The next thing on ours, we wanted to briefly touch on solar vegetation, and I guess because we have planning on the call, I'm going to go on with the second one. So SB 931 was signed by Governor Moore, and then the work group to draft the, I love this acronym, EGCP.
CPCN.
Yes, I could never get it. Criteria has met once. Separate from that process is the ongoing discussion on interpretation and calculation of the 5% PPA language in the bill. Early discussions are still happening, but we were wondering if MDP might have any future guidance for the counties. MD is also going to inquire with MACO about that on plans to communicate with legislative members.
MDP does not have any guidance at this point. We are working with local jurisdictions to sort of make sure that they are aware of the timeline for the priority preservation area, the snapshot in time that was as of, I'm trying to remember if it's the end of 2025 or just January 1 of 2020. I'm sorry, January 1 of 2025 or the end of 2024. But we're working with our legal counsel trying to determine, what MDP's responsibility might be in tracking the PPA, because it is not, how do I want to say this? The priority preservation area is not always easily identified at the local jurisdictions, because the numbers have changed over time. The actual geographic location of the PPA may not be what we show in our layers. So we're working again with our legal counsel to find out, how we're going to walk that fine line. We're not responsible for, I shouldn't say that. I'll take that back. I'm not sure what our responsibility is yet at this point, but we're just have internal conversations at this point, and there is no guidance that we can provide as of yet. But we did have, we are in the emails went out to all the local jurisdictions earlier this week, asking them to provide us with their priority preservation area shapefile.
Thank you. That kind of sums it up for the agenda. I can move on to new business. If there's any discussion or committee deliberation on departmental legislation proposals, we're happy to open up discussion for suggestions.
I think because we don't have,
I think we can just move on. All right, well, in that case, I'm happy to give everyone time of their morning back.
do you want to open up for public comment?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I can open up for public comment from anyone interested. Okay. Are there any final comments for the good of the order? So I'm going to request a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second.
Awesome. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. Have a good rest of your day, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.